$2 million. Yeah, that's a lot of money, but it's not the median household income from this mid-Atlantic state. That would be $94,384. That's still a lot of money, and it's well above the average US household income of $67,521. In this state, there are over 200,000 households that are millionaires, meaning nearly 1 in 10 of all residents living in the US state of Maryland are millionaires. But why? What makes the 42nd largest state also the richest state? Maryland can attribute its large wealth because of its proximity to the US capital of Washington, D.C., which is where many of the state's residents work. Not surprisingly, D.C. residents actually are more wealthy than Maryland, but since they are not, and likely never will be, a state, Maryland still gets the top spot. Being close to DC means being close to government. And we all know many corporations are always filling the lines of politicians. That might explain why Congress is so rich, but there's many other government jobs that can be quite profitable without the same level of corruption. Now, the federal government, they employ 420,000 people in the DC area alone. The largest employers being the Department of Defense, which boasts 23,000 jobs at the Pentagon, the United States Postal Service, the Veterans Administration, the Treasury, the Department of Homeland Security, and the Department of Justice. Government jobs typically offer more benefits compared to the private sector, such as health benefits, vacation, sick leave, paid holidays, guaranteed pay raises, and you will love this one, job security. Meaning government workers can be mediocre at their job, and they will still likely be getting paid. Because the government is funded by you, the taxpayer, these jobs are typically very stable. I mean, it's not like the government's gonna be going out of business, right? Employees will always be needed to complete the tasks of the government. The DC area also has other Fortune 500 companies in Freddie and Fannie Mae, General Dynamics, Capital One, Lockheed Martin, Marriott, Mars Candy, to name a few. Having a high level of education attainment is usually correlated to making more money, so it's no surprise that Maryland is one of the most educated states, with nearly 40% of adults having a bachelor's degree or higher. These folks are able to demand a higher salary, and having so many in a concentrated area drives in a lot of business. The area has among the largest science, engineering, and tech workforce in the nation, and STEM careers, they're typically known to pay pretty well. Some of the best colleges in the area include George Washington University, Georgetown, Howard, American, University of Maryland, George Mason. Man, they really do like the name George in the DC area. The Washington metro area, which includes DC, parts of Maryland, and Virginia, known as the DMV, is currently the 6th largest metro area in the US, with 6.3 million residents. The area has grown by over 600,000 people in the last 10 years alone, and is notable for its high immigrant and diverse population. All this means that there's even more demand for real estate in the area. According to Redfin, the median sales price of a home listed in the past year in DC was $725,000, which means the area's residents are also growing their wealth through real estate. Tourism is also a significant player for the region's success. Everyone wants to go take a selfie with the White House, middle fingers are optional, they want to see the Lincoln Memorial, the Veterans Memorials, the Washington Monument, the Air and Space Museum, the Library of Congress, the Capitol building, though some people might want to do a little more than take pictures of the Capitol these days. And you can get around DC with its stellar public transportation system, which is often considered one of the best in the nation. And of course, just because there's a lot of affluent people who live in the DMV area, that does not mean everyone is rich and that poverty doesn't exist. 16% of the population lives below the poverty line, which in 2021, for a 4-person household, that was earning less than $26,000. But let's end it on a high note. Maryland and the DMV area, which includes DC, Maryland, and the state of Virginia, they are a rich area because of the proximity to the nation's capital, which is filled with many lucrative, stable government jobs, has a very educated workforce, which allows them to work in fields that typically pay high-paying salaries. The real estate in DC is booming, and everyone always wants to visit, so they get a lot of money in tourism. Those are some of the main reasons why the area is so rich, but definitely not inclusive of all the reasons why they're so rich. Oh, and we didn't even have time for all of the corruption and under-the-table deals that definitely occur. Maybe the good folks watching from the DMV area can let me know what they thought of my reasons as to why their home state is so rich, but they're probably too busy playing mini golf on their yachts. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you liked this content, and check out more of me on the Collect Cash podcast. George on 3. 1, 2...